Hello dear students, this is grade 12 English. The third level part 3. In this video, we are going to see the line by line explanation of the lesson. I will read and explain the paragraph again and again. So students, you have to listen it properly and you should be thorough in it. Before we move on to the lesson, a small introduction. The third level by Jack Finney is about the harsh realities of war. This we already discussed, isn't it? So third level is about the harsh realities of war. War has irreversible consequences. What is the consequences? Results. So war has irreversible consequences, thus leaving people in a state of insecurity. What is the meaning of insecurity? So many times I have told you in the previous video, insecurity means lack of confidence. So war has irreversible consequences. That means war has irreversible results, thus leaving people in a state of insecurity. That means lack of confidence. It is also about modern day problems. What is that? It is also about modern day problems and how common man tends to escape reality by various means. So this lesson is about modern day problems and how common man reacts and how common man tends to escape reality by various means. So here in this story, a man named Charlie. So in character sketches, I have already discussed with you, isn't it? The protagonist, the hero of the story is Charlie. Okay. So he hallucinates. What does it hallucinates? That means an imaginary perception. Okay, an imaginary perception. Hallucinates and reaches the third level of the Grand Central Station. Okay, which only has 2 levels. What is the hallucination of Charlie? That the Grand Central Station has third level, but actually it has only 2 levels. So the third level, who is the author of the lesson? Jack Finney. The third level by Jack Finney is about what? Harsh realities of war. So the third level is about the harsh realities of war. So war has irreversible consequences. So what happened about because of this irreversible consequences? So this results this leaving people in a state of insecurity. What is that insecurity? Insecurity means lack of confidence. Then it is also about modern day problems. About modern day problems and how common man tries to escape reality by various means. Then in this story, who is the protagonist? Charlie. A man named Charlie. He hallucinates and reaches the third level of Grand Central Station. Actually, how many levels it has? It has only 2 levels. But he hallucinates, his imaginary perception. He thinks that Grand Central Station has the third level. Okay. So now let's move on to the text. Okay. Okay. So take your supplementary book, Vistas. First lesson, page number 1, the third level. Jack Finney. Have you taken your textbook, children? Okay. I am going to explain paragraph wise. So first I read the paragraph and then I will explain it. Okay. So please listen carefully. So whenever any hard words if I come across, I will tell you the meaning. So children, you note down the meanings in your textbook itself. Okay. Shall we start? Okay. The presidents of the New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads will swear on a stack of timetables that there are only two. So here in this line, it's given the New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford. So what are these? These are the names of railroads. Okay. So here the presidents of these railroads will swear. S-W-E-A-R. What is it swear? Means declare. Will declare who? The presidents of the New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads will swear. Will declare on a stack of timetables. On a stack of means pile of timetables, schedules of trains. What they will declare? That there are only two. Already I told you the summary. So you can understand what is that two. That means two levels. Okay. So the presidents of the New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads will swear on a stack of timetables that there are only two. So who declare that there are only two levels? The presidents of what? Presidents of New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford. What are these? These are railroads. So the presidents of these railroads will declare on a stack of timetables. That means the schedules. They declare a pile of schedules of trains that there are only two levels. But I say there are three. But I say, here I, who's that I? I is a narrator. So here who is a narrator? Our protagonist. Who's that? Charlie. Okay. So I refers to Charlie. But I say there are three. What is that three? So three levels. So actually in New York Central Station only two levels, not only there. New York Central, New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads, they have only two levels. But here Charlie, he said there were three. Okay. So but I say there are three because I've been on the third level of the Grand Central Station. So how could he say that there are three? Because he had been on the third level of Grand Central Station. Yes, I've taken the obvious step. So yes, I've taken the, who's that I? Charlie. I've taken the obvious step. Obvious means what? Obvious. The clear. Okay, clear step. So I talked to a psychiatrist friend of mine. So psychiatrist. So what I said? What is meant by psychiatrist? Already I have told you, the meaning of psychiatrist. Psychiatrist is a doctor who treats people mental illness. Okay. So I talked to a psychiatrist friend of mine, then among others. So again I refers to only Charlie. So Charlie talked to his psychiatrist friend of him. So who is that psychiatrist? Here it is a beginning of the lesson. So name of his friend is not given, but we have already discussed the summary and character sketches. So who is the psychiatrist friend? Sam. So here Charlie talked to his friend, a psychiatrist friend, and also among others, other friends also. I told him about the third level at Grand Central Station, and he said it was a waking dream wish fulfillment. So he told Charlie told him here psychiatrist friend about what? About the third level where at Grand Central Station. And he said it was a waking dream wish fulfillment. So what is that waking dream wish fulfillment? So, in our reality, we may see something that is not there, but it is what we wish to see and want to happen. That is, we can say already in intro I said no hallucination. So, otherwise we can say a daydream. Okay. So, what his friend, psychiatrist friend, he told that what? It was a waking dream wish fulfillment. He said I was unhappy. So who said? He refers to here psychiatrist friend. He said I. I refer to whom? I refer to Charlie. So psychiatrist friend told Charlie that he was unhappy. So in his life he was unhappy. So that's the reason of this. So that made my wife kind of mad. So whose wife? Charlie's wife. Kind of mad. What is a kind of mad? That little bit angry. Okay. So when psychiatrist friend told Charlie that as he was unhappy, so that's why he had the feeling of the existence of third level. So on hearing this, his wife, what's Charlie's wife name? Already we discussed, no? Charlie's wife name, Louisa. So that made my wife kind of mad. That means she was little upset and little bit angry. But he explained that he meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it, and that I just want to escape. So, when the psychiatrist friend told him that it was a waking dream wish fulfillment, his wife, Charlie's wife, was getting angry, and so then psychiatrist, he explained that he meant that what? The modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and then all the rest of it, and I just want to escape. So because of this, that is modern harsh realities of modern life, modern world, he wanted to escape. Okay. Well, who doesn't? Everybody I know wants to escape, but they don't wander down into any third level at Grand Central Station. So Charlie said not only he, everybody wants to escape from the harsh realities of modern world, but they don't wander down into any third level. What is that wander down? Travel. But they don't travel into any third level at Grand Central Station. So here what Charlie said? Charlie said that, so not only he, everybody wants to escape from the harsh realities of modern world, but they don't travel into any third level at Grand Central Station. So again now I'll read the paragraph. Listen. The presidents of the New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads will swear on a stack of timetables that there are only two. So what is this New York Central and the New York, New Haven, Hartford? These are railroads. But I say there are three, because I've been on the third level of the Grand Central Station. Yes, I've taken the obvious step. I talked to a psychiatrist friend of mine, among others. I told him about the third level at Grand Central Station, and he said it was a waking dream wish fulfillment. He said I was unhappy. That made my wife kind of mad. But he explained that he meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it, and that I just want to escape. Well, who doesn't? Everybody I know wants to escape, but they don't wander down into any third level at Grand Central Station. Okay, so here in this paragraph, what is given? The story begins with the mention of a third level at the Grand Central Station. So the story begins with the mention of a third level at the Grand Central Station, which only has two levels in real. So in Grand Central Station, it has only two levels in real. Okay, but the story begins with the mention of a third level. The protagonist, who is the protagonist? Charlie. The protagonist himself is aware that even the presidents of New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads would express great confidence in the existence of only two levels. So the Charlie, he is aware. Aware means here having the knowledge. Okay, that he also what aware the presidents of New York Central, then railroads, what the New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads, they express in great confidence for what? In the existence of only two levels. But he himself has been to the third level. Then considering the entire scenario, means entire outline, Charlie, the protagonist, had a word with his psychiatrist friend. So he explained that after he discussed this with his psychiatrist friend, psychiatrist friend Sam, he explained that Charlie was experiencing a waking dream wish fulfillment. In other words, we can say hallucination. So according to the psychiatrist, Charlie was unhappy. Okay, in fact, her wife did not like what psychiatrist said. Okay, what he said, Charlie was unhappy. So upon explaining further, it became very clear that it is the burden of all the modern problems that is pushing him to experience this. Okay, that means the perception of something not present. So the problem, the burden of all the modern problems pushing him to experience something, that means here the existence of third level which was not present. He tends to escape the reality. He tries to escape the reality. So Charlie agreed with his psychiatrist friend what said, but he still found it a bit odd to have been to the third level of the Grand Central Station. Let's move on to the next paragraph. But that's the reason, he said, and my friends all agreed. Everything points to it, they claimed. My stamp collecting, for example, that's a temporary refuge from reality. Well, maybe, but my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. Things were pretty nice and peaceful in his day. From all I hear, and he started my collection. It's a nice collection too. Blocks of 4, practically every US issue, first day covers and so on. President Roosevelt collected stamps too, you know. So here what is given, but that's the reason he said. He refers to psychiatrist. That's the reason. What is the reason here? Because of the harsh reality of the modern world, he had that hallucination. That means existence of having the third level. Who said? Psychiatrist friend. But that's the reason he said. And my friends all agreed. Not only psychiatrist, his other friends also agreed to what psychiatrist said. Okay, who's that psychiatrist? Charlie's friend. What's the name of the doctor? Psychiatrist Sam Weiner. This already in the previous video we discussed, isn't it? Everything points to it, they claimed. So they declared, his friends declared the points, whatever psychiatrist he said, it was correct. They agreed what his psychiatrist friend said. My stamp collecting. So stamp collecting. So about in a previous video about hobbies, we have discussed the stamp collection, isn't it? Here, my stamp collecting, for example, that's the temporary refuge from reality. So here, psychiatrist, he said his hobby, the stamp collection, was a temporary refuge. Temporary, he sought a temporary shelter, what, from reality. So that was the stamp collection was a temporary refuge. Then, well, maybe, but my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. Things were pretty nice and peaceful in his day, from all I hear. So, if stamp collection was a temporary refuge, means his grandfather, Charlie's grandfather, also had that hobby, stamp collection, but he did not have it for refuge from reality, because their life was pretty nice and very peaceful. Okay, so then why his grandfather, if it is stamp collection is a temporary refuge from reality, means then what about his grandfather's having that hobby of stamp collection? So here psychiatrist friend said it's a temporary refuge from the reality, but his grandfather's life, it was very peaceful. Okay, then it's a nice collection too. So he started my collection, it's a nice collection too. So he started my collection, that means grandfather also had the same hobby, stamp collection. It's a nice collection. Blocks of 4, practically every US issue, first day covers. So about first day cover also I have discussed with you. President Roosevelt collected stamps too. So not only his grandfather, President Roosevelt also had this stamp collection, hobby of stamp collection. So in other personalities, we have discussed about President Roosevelt, isn't it? So here, his grandfather, he had that collection, no, the stamp collection. It was very amazing, because that whenever United States, when they issue a new stamps, means they issued a blocks of 4 stamp. Okay, so it was very nice to see that blocks of 4. So here what Charlie said, his grandfather's stamp collection was wonderful. It was very nice to look at, because that blocks of 4 the stamps, whenever US issued, they released new stamps, means they released blocks of 4. In a block there would be 4 stamps. Here Charlie said his grandfather's stamp collection was very amazing to look at, what, that blocks of 4. Okay, so whenever US they issued new stamps, means it would be blocks of 4. That means 4 stamps will be there, that 4 blocks. Okay. So he added that even President Roosevelt had the stamp collection, had the hobby of stamp collection. So again I'll read the paragraph. But that's the reason, he said, and my friends all agreed. So reason here, what he meant, the harsh realities, because of the harsh realities of modern world, he had that hallucination. Okay. Then hallucination, what hallucination? Existence of third level. So not only his friend psychiatrist, other friends also they agreed what psychiatrist friend said. Everything points to it, they claimed. My stamp collecting, for example. So here his psychiatrist friend, he said that his stamp collection, it was a temporary refuge from reality. Well, maybe, but my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. So if stamp collection is meant for temporary refuge, means what about his grandfather's stamp collection? So his grandfather also had the hobby of collecting stamps, but he didn't need any refuge from reality, because in those days they led a peaceful and wonderful life. So then Charlie, he told about his grandfather's stamp collection. It was very nice collection, wonderful collection. It was amazing to look at that blocks of 4 every US. So whenever US issued new stamps, that would be blocks of 4. That means in that 4 stamps will be there. Okay, it was very nice to look at. And in the end he said that even President Roosevelt also had the hobby of collecting stamps. Okay, have you understood, children? So next paragraph. Anyway, here's what happened at Grand Central. One night last summer, I worked late at the office. I was in a hurry to get uptown my apartment. So I decided to take the subway from Grand Central because it's faster than the bus. Now here Charlie started explaining what exactly happened. Okay, and how he chose to take the subway. Okay, subway, what is that? Underground to his apartment. So here, one night last summer, I worked late at the office. So I refers to whom? Yes, Charlie. So one night last summer, Charlie worked late at the office. I was in a hurry to get uptown to my apartment. What is that uptown? That is residential area. So as he worked late at the office, he was in a hurry for what? To get uptown, that means to get his residential area to his apartment. So he decided to take the subway underground from Grand Central. So why he decided to take the subway? Because it's faster than the bus. So instead of traveling in bus, if he traveled in train, means he could reach his home earlier. So what happened exactly on that day, on last summer? So he worked late at the office. So he was in a hurry to get the residential area to his apartment. So he decided to take the underground, to take the subway. Where? From Central Station, Grand Central Station. Because why he chose the subway of Grand Central Station means because it's faster than the bus. Okay, have you understood, children? So third paragraph, he explained what happened. Okay, what happened exactly, and how he chose to take the subway to his apartment instead of the usual bus when after a late night shift. Okay, so why he chose the subway to his apartment? In order to save time. Okay. So next para. Now I don't know why this should have happened to me. I'm just an ordinary guy named Charlie, 31 years old, and I was wearing a tan gabardine suit and a straw hat with a fancy band. I passed a dozen men who looked just like me, and I wasn't trying to escape from anything. I just wanted to get home to Louisa, my wife. Okay, so here what Charlie said, he described himself as an ordinary man of 31. His age was 31. So he dressed in a tan gabardine suit. What is a tan gabardine? It is a tough, tightly woven fabric. Okay, tan gabardine suit and a straw hat with a fancy band. What is a straw hat? It is a what? It's a brimmed hat at the edge. Okay, brimmed means at the top of the edge. So here straw hat, it is woven out of straw, otherwise straw like materials from different plants. Okay, so he described himself as an ordinary man, and he dressed in a tan gabardine suit. What is a tan gabardine? It is a what? It is a firm, hard fabric. Okay, tough, tightly woven fabric. He wore tan gabardine suit and a straw hat with a fancy band, and was so ordinary that he could see other similar men at the station. So in the Grand Central Station, like him, he could see other men also. Then he explained how he was in his normal state of mind, not wanting to escape from anywhere. So his psychiatrist friend, it was a hallucination. He wanted to escape from the reality, no? So he explained that. He explained his normal state of mind. He did not want to escape from anywhere. All he wanted was to be with his wife at that hour. Already it was late. So all he wanted was to be with his wife. He still didn't understand why that happened with him. Okay. So here what it's given. Now I don't know why this should have happened to me. So I refers to Charlie. Charlie did not know why that happened to him. That means that what feeling of that existing third level. Why that happened to him. I am just an ordinary guy named Charlie, 31 years old. So he described that he was an ordinary man named Charlie and only 31 years old. And I was wearing a tan gabardine suit. So about his dress also he described. He wore a tan gabardine suit. So what kind of suit he wore? Tan gabardine. That means tough, tightly woven fabric. Okay, tough, tightly woven. WOVEN. Woven fabric. Fabric means what? Cloth. Okay. Tan gabardine suit and a straw hat. Straw hat with a fancy band. So look at the picture, it's given. Suit, tan gabardine suit. Look at the hat. It's a brimmed hat. Okay. Woven out of straw. And I passed a dozen men who looked just like me. So he said that he passed several men like him. Okay, so he was one among them, and I wasn't trying to escape from anything. I just wanted to get home to Louisa. So here Charlie explained that he did not try to escape from anywhere. He did not try to escape from anywhere means here the harsh reality of modern world. He did not try to escape. All he wanted was to be with his wife. He wanted to be with his wife at that hour. So already he was very late. Okay. So he still I didn't understand why that happened to him. Okay. Let's see again the paragraph. Now I don't know why this should have happened to me. I'm just an ordinary guy named Charlie, 31 years old, and I was wearing a tan gabardine suit and a straw hat with a fancy band. I passed a dozen men who looked just like me, and I wasn't trying to escape from anything. I just wanted to get home to Louisa, my wife. So, here in this paragraph, he described himself as an ordinary man. Okay, so he did not know why that happened, that should have happened to him. He was just an ordinary man of 31 years old. He described his dressing also. He dressed in a tan gabardine suit. So, what is that gabardine? I said it is a tough, tightly woven cloth. Okay. So, tan gabardine suit and a straw hat with a fancy band. Hat made of straw. Okay. Otherwise, straw like materials from different plants. And he passed several men who just like him in the station. Okay. And he did not try to escape from anything, that means from the reality, okay, modern world. He just wanted to get home. He wanted to be with his wife Louisa. Okay. The next paragraph, I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue and went down the steps to the first level, where you take trains like the 20th century. Then I walked down another flight to the second level, where the suburban trains leave from, ducked into an arched doorway, heading for the subway, and got lost. That's easy to do. I've been in and out of Grand Central hundreds of times, but I'm always bumping into new doorways and stairs and corridors. Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. Another time I came up in an office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. So here what is given, Charlie came to the part of the incident where he entered the Grand Central. So where he entered, so he turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue. Okay, so from Vanderbilt Avenue he turned into the Grand Central and he went down the steps to the first level. First he entered into Grand Central from which avenue? Vanderbilt Avenue. Then he went down the steps to the first level. So in the first level were trains like 20th century. So people, they could get the trains like 20th century. 20th century, here it is a name of the train. Okay. So in the first level, trains like 20th century. So people, they could get trains like 20th century. Next, he walked down another flight to the second level. Next, he went to the second level where the suburban trains leave from. What is that suburban trains? Suburban means residential area. Okay. So in second level, so trains which goes to residential area, people they can get those trains in the second level. So where the suburban trains leave from, ducked into an arched doorway, heading for the subway, and got lost. So after the second level, he entered an arched doorway and he got lost. So what is the duct? Duct means lower the head into an arched curved doorway and it leads to the subway and he got lost there. That's easy to do. I've been and out of Grand Central hundreds of time. So it was nothing unusual for him, because even if he had come to that station 1,000 times, there were occasions he bumped into new corridors. That means he bumped means he came across, otherwise he met into new corridors and doorways. That getting lost is not an unusual, okay. It was nothing unusual, because so hundreds of time he had come to the station. There were occasions he getting into new corridors and doorways. So once he entered the wrong lobby and reached Roosevelt Hotel, and another time in an office building which was 3 blocks away. So once I got into a tunnel. So what is the tunnel? Tunnel means underpass. That means walker tunnel pausing under a railway. So once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of Roosevelt Hotel. So once he came out in the lobby. What is it? Lobby. That means entrance hall. Okay. So he came out in the entrance hall of Roosevelt Hotel. Another time I came up in an office building. So next time he came out in an office building. Where was that office building? On the 46th Street, 3 blocks away. So here in this paragraph is given, Charlie came to the part of the incident where he entered the Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue, and then he took the stairs to the first level where one could took the trains like the 20th century. Then he went down to the another floor to reach the second level, from where the residential trains leave. Okay, residential area trains leave. So from there he entered an arched door, curved door, and he got lost. So getting lost was nothing unusual for him, because even he had come to the station 1,000 times. There were some occasions he getting into new corridors and doorways. So once he entered the wrong lobby, he came out in the lobby of Roosevelt Hotel. Another time he reached another time in an office building. He came up in an office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. So here once again I read, I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue. So from where he reached the Grand Central Station, he turned into from Vanderbilt Avenue. Then he went down the steps to the first level. First he reached the first level. So where trains like 20th century, where one could get the trains like 20th century, it is the first level. Then he walked down some steps to the second level. There suburban trains leave. That means residential areas trains they leave. Okay, that is second level. So after the second level, just he entered, he bent into an curved doorway, which is the way for subway, and he got lost. And he had been to the Grand Central Station hundreds of times, but always he getting into new doorways and stairs and corridors. It was not an unusual, okay. So once he got into a tunnel about a mile long. So once he came out in the lobby of Roosevelt Hotel, and next time he came up in an office building which was on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. So what is that? Suburban, that is residential. So what is a duct? Duct means D-U-C-K-E-D. lower the head. What is that arched? Arched means curved. So what is that bumping? That means bumping, that getting into something. So lobby is the entrance hall. Okay, what is a tunnel? Tunnel means underpass. That means pedestrian tunnel. That means walker, they pass under a railway. Okay, then so given 3 blocks away. What is that block? 3 buildings away. Okay, so this is what given. Let's see all the 4 paragraphs. Okay, again I'll read, listen carefully. Okay, the presidents of the New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads will swear on a stack of timetables that there are only 2. But I say there are 3 because I've been on the 3rd level of the Grand Central Station. Yes, I've taken the obvious step. I talked to a psychiatrist friend of mine, among others. I told him about the 3rd level at Grand Central Station, and he said it was a waking dream wish fulfillment. He said, I was unhappy. That made my wife kind of mad. But he explained that he meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it, and that I just want to escape. Well, who doesn't? Everybody I know wants to escape, but they don't wander down into any 3rd level at Grand Central Station. So here, what is a stack? Stack means pile of objects. Here timetables, a schedule showing the departure and arrival of trains. Okay, so the story begins with the mention of 3rd level at the Grand Central Station. So here the presidents of New York Central and the New York, New Haven and the Hartford railroads, the presidents of these, they declare the timetables, schedules of arriving and departing of trains. They declare that there are only 2 levels. But here our protagonist Charlie, he said there were 3 because he had been on the 3rd level of Grand Central Station. Then he decided to discuss this with his psychiatrist friend and also to his other friends. And he told him about the 3rd level at Grand Central Station. And his psychiatrist friend, he said it was a waking dream wish fulfillment. That means hallucination, daydream. Because why this happened to him? Because he was unhappy. So when his psychiatrist friend, he said Charlie was unhappy because of this that happened to him, his wife, she became angry. Okay, that kind of mad, that means a little bit angry. Then his friend, psychiatrist friend, he explained that he meant what he meant means, here he said no, he was unhappy. So he meant that because this modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry. So Charlie wanted to escape. So here Charlie replied, so everybody, not only everybody he knows wants to escape only, but they don't, but they did not travel into any 3rd level at Grand Central Station. Not only Charlie, other people also, they wanted to escape from the harsh realities of modern world, but they did not travel into any 3rd level at Grand Central Station. So this is what given in the first paragraph. Okay. But that's the reason, he said, and my friends all agreed. Everything points to it, they claimed. My stamp collecting, for example, that's a temporary refuge from reality. Well, Maybe, but my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. Things were pretty nice and peaceful in his days, from all I hear, and he started my collection. It's a nice collection too, blocks of 4 of practically every US issue. That means first day covers and so on. President Roosevelt collected stamps too, you know. So here Charlie began to believe what the possibility that he had been experienced all this to escape the harsh realities of modern world. So here his friend, psychiatrist friend, he said no, because of these harsh realities of the modern world, Charlie began to believe in the possibilities. Okay, and his friends also, they agreed to it. So even he said even his stamp collecting is a sort of refuge or shelter. He resorts in order to feel protected. He resorts, that means he make use of that stamp collection to feel protected. Okay, it is a temporary refuge. Then on the other hand, he started thinking otherwise. That means his grandfather started his stamp collection, but in those days they had not seen the effects of war, and there was peace, harmony and security. Okay, his grandfather must have not been insecure, but he had that hobby of stamp collection. So the collection moreover was amazing, with the blocks of 4 of US, practically every US issue. Even President Roosevelt collected stamps. So here Charlie began to believe in the possibility that he had experiencing all this. That means experiencing all this means the existence of third level. So this happened to him because to escape the harsh realities of modern world, he began to believe in the possibility. Okay, then he told about his stamp collection. Psychiatrist friend, he told that stamp collection is a sort of refuge. Okay, temporary stamp collection is a temporary refuge. Okay, he made use of that stamp collecting to feel protected. Okay, that's what he said here. And then his grandfather also, he had a hobby of stamp collection, but in those days he led a peaceful life. They did not have the effects of war. There was only peace, harmony and security. Okay, his grandfather, he did not have that feeling of insecure. And Charlie, he said about his grandfather's stamp collection was amazing, with the blocks of 4. And why here it is given blocks of 4? Every time US, when they released new stamps, they released blocks of 4 stamps. Okay, in a block 4 stamps would be there. So that is given blocks of 4. Every US issue they released blocks of 4 stamps. It was very amazing to look at that. Even President Roosevelt also collected stamps. So next paragraph. Anyway, here's what happened at Grand Central. One night last summer, I worked late at the office. I was in a hurry to get uptown to my apartment, so I decided to take the subway from Grand Central because it is faster than the bus. So here in this paragraph, he started explaining what exactly happened, okay, at Grand Central. So one night last summer, he worked late at the office, okay. So late night shift. So he worked late at the office. He was in a hurry to get his residential area to his apartment. So he decided to take the subway from Grand Central because it's faster than the bus. In order to save time, he took the subway from Central. Okay. So he was in a hurry to his home. Okay. So here in the third paragraph, what is given? What exactly happened and how he chose to take the subway to his apartment instead of usual bus after a late night shift. So next para, now I don't know why this should have happened to me. I am just an ordinary guy named Charlie, 31 years old, and I was wearing a tan gabardine suit and a straw hat with a fancy band. I passed a dozen men who looked just like me, and I wasn't trying to escape from anything. I just wanted to get home to Louisa, my wife. So here in this paragraph he described so he did not know why that should have happened to me. So that should have happened to me. What that should have means what? That what existence of third level, he felt that no existence of third level. So why that happened to him? Because Grand Central Station only they have two levels, but he only telling that Grand Central Station had the third level. So why that happened to him, he did not know. So he was just an ordinary man named Charlie. So 31 years old. He was just an ordinary man, only 31 years old. And he described his dressing that he wore a tan gabardine suit. So I have already explained what is tan gabardine. That means tough, tightly woven cloth. And a straw hat with a fancy band. So you look at the picture, and he said that he passed several men like him at a station. He said that he did not try to escape from anything. That means he did not try to escape from the reality. He just wanted to get home to Louisa, his wife. Okay, so this is what here it is given. In para 5, it is given, I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue and went down the steps to the first level where you take trains like the 20th century. Then I walked down another flight to the second level where the suburban trains leave from, ducked into an arched doorway heading for the subway and got lost. That's easy to do. I've been in and out of Grand Central hundreds of times, but I'm always bumping into new doors and stairs and corridors. Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel. Another time I came up in an office building on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. Here what is given? I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue. I refers to whom here? Charlie, yes. He turned into, that means he passed into Grand Central from where? From Vanderbilt Avenue. Okay. Then after passing into Grand Central, he went down the steps to the first level. Okay. So first level, what type of trains he could get? Like the 20th century. The name of the train is 20th century. So like 20th century trains, one could get in the first level. Okay. So after passing into Grand Central, he went down the steps to reach first level. So in first level, trains like 20th century, so one could get. So then after the first level, then he walked down another flight, that means another flight of steps to the second level. Then he walked down to the second level. So in second level, the trains like suburban trains, they leave. Okay, suburban trains means residential area trains, they leave from second level. So first level, like 20th century trains one could get. In the second level, suburban areas trains leave. So then Charlie, he bent down into an arched doorway. So there was an curved doorway. He went into that and doorway heading for the subway. Heading means leading. That doorway that leads for the subway. Then he got lost. Okay. So after getting into the arched doorway, he got lost. Then that's easy to do. I've been in and out of Grand Central hundreds of times. So before this, he came to the this Grand Central hundreds of times. But I'm always bumping into new doorways and stairs and corridors. So it was not an unusual thing. So many times he came out into new doorways and stairs and corridors. So once he got into a tunnel, and after passing a mile long, he came out at the entrance of a Roosevelt Hotel, at the lobby of Roosevelt Hotel. The next time he came up in an office building which was on 46th Street, 3 blocks away. That means 3. Students, remaining part of the lesson you can watch in the coming videos.